Hey everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a family of 8 who live off-grid in Australia. Today's video is the grocery haul or the supply run video to show you exactly what we got in the manner of food. So the video before, I showed off a lot of the non-food items as I got them. I always find that hard to show once I get home, so I try and show them during the shop with me video, the non-food items. Sometimes, and I'm not particularly in depth with them. Any questions about them, there's always happy to answer. But the food items we lay out all on the table and get that film to show everyone. I'm a little close to the camera here, but the someone's put more stuff in the solar shed and I haven't been out here in a while. So this is our grocery haul. Now I'll give you a little bit of spiel before I show you the grocery haul. Anyone who's not interested in any more information can leave then. But at the end I've got all my numbers, all the amounts that I spent in the different places and what it breaks down to, and any other notes that I will give as well. This video was supposed to be out now and I'm doing this intro because I spent all day yesterday processing beans and broccoli, which you'll see why in the thing. So we shop every 6 to 8 weeks. This is for an 8-week period, and it has been 7 weeks since we have been shopping. We live off-grid. We have 20 acres. There is 6 kids ranging from 8 to 17. And Darryl and I work from home as well, so nobody leaves the house other than to go to town, to the post office, or to fetch. That we do buy all our animal feed from the local place in town and things like that. And we do buy fresh cow's milk from in town once a week or whatever as well, which we use to make milk kefir, but we're predominantly dairy free, so we don't buy anything else that's there. We tend to bake all our own breads, our snacks, and everything else, because the whole point is that we just don't go anywhere, and we don't have the storage, because if we're only shopping 6 to 8 weeks, we don't have the storage for buying pre-bought things, so we make them from scratch. So these grocery hauls reflect that. So this one is for an 8-week period. That is the intent anyway. And it is all our breakfasts, lunches, dinners, and all the snacks and everything else in between. It also includes all our personal goods, female needs, soaps, shampoos, conditioners, cleaning products, things like that. I just bunch that all in with the groceries because it's something that is a consumable over the 8-week period. It's not like like I went to Bunnings and bought screws and things like that. I don't count them because they're above and beyond our everyday consumables, but dish liquid and laundry liquid and all that sort of stuff is an everyday consumable, so I include that in those. We do not have takeout, but if Darryl takes the kids to Toowoomba for medical appointments or anything like that, he will take them to Macca's or Hungry Jack's or whatever, and that's fine. And I don't budget that because it's an above and beyond again. So I'm aware of it. It's on my budget, as in I know what's spent and things like that, but it's not part of this, overall food for the 8 weeks. So let me show you the grocery haul, and then if you want to stick around afterwards, I'll give you all the numbers on it. I do give some prices as I go through, but I don't remember them all as I go. Also, if you're interested in seeing how I use the grocery haul, follow along or subscribe or whatever. The next videos will be all the videos about how I use the food that I've purchased. So there'll be all the food prep, planning, preserving, and all that sort of thing. How I can stuff, how I make stuff shelf stable, how we freeze stuff, and that, to make sure that this grocery haul will last us the full 8 weeks. So enjoy seeing all the food. It's a big one, this one, and then I'll come back and I'll give you all the numbers. Alrighty, we have our first table load. The kids cleaned off both tables, so we've been able to spread a lot out, but it's late and we'll see how we go. I got brown rice, 5 kilos. Now this was half price at Coles, so it was only $9, but what I didn't realize when I went to Costco is that they have these for $9 all the time, not even needing to be half price. I got some banana chips. These are to use, well, the kids can snack on some, but it was for the instant porridges that I'm going to make up. I got some from Woolworths, and then when I was in Aldi, I saw that they had some as well, and they were slightly cheaper, so I'm just going to compare them because we'll use them all. So I grabbed a few bags of those. I got half a dozen Wheat Bix and half a dozen rice bubbles. For cereal, I think I got 10 of the 2 kilo raw sugars, so 20 kilos of sugar because we have none left, so we needed that. I grabbed a baking powder. I do have cream of tartare and bicarb, so I can make our own, but sometimes it's nice just to have the jar, and a couple of the Maisery green curry pastes. I grabbed a ghee. They're the two 1.35 litres. They're a very good price at Costco, and a box of big black garbage bags for our rubbish bin. I grabbed a 6-pack of the Moody passata. We have some on the shelf, but I'm going to make a big batch of bolognese, so I wanted to make sure that I had plenty. I grabbed a bunch of different pasta. So this Zaffarelli macaroni, I really like the shape of, but it's like 3 times the price of the Coles brand one, but it was half price. So I grabbed a couple of those just because I really like them. And then I grabbed some different penne. So there's a few pastas that we've been looking at for making, like for lunches now that it's winter, hot lunches and stuff, and they call for penne as the shape. Now I bought a couple of different brands all in a similar price just to see if I prefer any particular one, because I'm not a huge fan of dried pasta, so I just want to see if there's a preference there, but they're all much the same price, and I bought enough for, say, a lunch meal of it a week. I grabbed a 3-pack of ketchup. We use this with hot dogs. Now, we're not having hot dogs tonight because it's too late, but we will have them tomorrow. So we will use some of that for that and the rest throughout the month. I got 2 of the Maggi Rich gravy. We're down to about half a container at the moment, so I got 2 more. A couple of the honey from Costco. These are only $9.95 for a kilo, so super cheap for honey. A Dijon mustard. Again, this is really cheap. It's like $8 for this big jar, so it works out really good price. The Skippy peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter. I got 2 of those. I got a soy sauce. These, again, it's about, I think it's $8.99 at Costco, so they're a very good price. Vegetable oil for frying the buttermilk chicken. I have one of these Decor oil sprayers, but I've had it for many years. It looks like they've changed the design slightly, and it's just getting a bit gummed up. It's a little bit tacky in the spout, and I want to clean it, but I don't have a spare to use while it's cleaning, so I grabbed a spare because these were half price this month. A maple syrup. These are $19.99 at Costco, so that's the best place to buy them. I grabbed some udon noodles. These are $1.50 on sale at the moment. We do have to use 4 packets for a dinner, 2 or 3 if we're doing it for a lunch. So we go through these, like a lot of them per meal. So there's only a couple of meals there, and I think there's some more coming. I think we've missed some somewhere, so I think there's some more of these because I think I got enough for 4 meals over the 8 weeks. The rice vermicelli, we use this in our rice paper rolls and things like that. So I got 4 of those. I also got some rice bran oil from Aldi. So I got the normal olive oil from Costco that we like for with our mayo, but this has gone up again. So it was $62.99 for the 2 of these, which is $1.06, I think it was, or something, per 100 mils, which is super expensive. But Aldi's olive oil, which was cheaper at one point, is now $1.25 per 100 mils. So, and this is my preferred one. We still have 1.5 left from last month, so I grabbed those 2, and we will use that only for mayo. And then rice bran oil is only 65 cents per 100, and this is perfectly fine for using for everything else, for putting in my spray bottle, even for baking with and things like that. So that used to be one of the ones that I got all the time, and then I couldn't get it for a while. We buy the olive oil for mayo, so you know, I just started transitioning to using that, but now it's so expensive, I'm going to go use this as well. I got an LMP for Darryl because it's his favorite. A jar of Vegeta. Now, I've still probably got half of a jar, and I probably won't need this in the next 8 weeks, but it's good to have on the shelf, and it's sealed, so that's fine. I got an oyster sauce, and I got the 3-pack of the apple cider vinegar as well. I got a couple of dry yeast. I like to have a couple in backup on the shelf, and this is Kavik's request every shopping trip. Every Costco trip, he wants the dehydrated vegetables, so I got that. I got a message from a viewer who's been going to Costco lately and said that she tried these. These are really nice. She thought the kids would like them, so I grabbed those, as well as these ube, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but the coconut rolls with the purple sweet potato. So we'll give that a go. I grabbed a bag of chocolate chips for baking. Kirkland chocolate chips used to be dairy-free. They're not dairy-free anymore, but for the minimal amount that we're using in the baking, it doesn't seem to be an issue. So it's the cheapest way to buy them. The Mission tortillas. These are 3 packs of 12 for about $8. I think it's $8.39, which is really cheap for pre-made wraps. And it's just makes my life really simple sometimes to tell the kids to go and grab some wraps, or we make quesadillas with them, things like that, rather than having to make flatbread every day. So I think I grabbed 5 packs of 3, so 15 of them, thinking sort of like 2 a week-ish is what we could go through, and we'll see how that goes. Sometimes we go through them quicker, sometimes not. I grabbed 2 trays of the Muddy chopped tomatoes. I normally buy the 3 2.5 kilo tins when I'm making a big batch bolognese, but they're not as good quality as these ones. And these were the same price. It was 42 cents per 100 for the 2.5 kilos, as well as the same as for these ones, which are 800 gram tins. So I went with these instead. I grabbed a tray of corn, so 12 tins of corn, and then I grabbed a whole lot of coconut cream. So I had to go to 2 different Aldis. The first Aldi, I could only get 7, and then the next Aldi, I managed to get 35. So, you know, that was just a bit strange. But, so we got 42 tins of coconut cream all up. I also bought this. This was half price, and it's Valcom brand, which is the brand that we use for curry paste sometimes, and it's a coconut milk. So I didn't end up ordering the Milk Lab coconut milk that we've been getting from Amazon. I didn't end up ordering it through the wholesaler because I misjudged my dates and I didn't think it would get there on time. But this was half price, so we're going to give this a go. Costco did have the Caro coconut milk, which is what we used to use for coffee anyway, in stock, so I grabbed 2 of the 8 packs of those, and we'll use both plus the Milk Lab stuff that we've got left. I got 3 bags of the Intense coffee beans from Coles. These are only $12 a bag, so they are just a very cost-effective coffee bean. Sometimes if there's something on special at Costco, I will grab something fancy as well, but there wasn't at all this month. And then rice milk. So I was lucky with my rice milk. I ordered 36 from Woolworths, the macro organic one, which is in here somewhere. There's a few different brands. I ordered 36 on my delivery order and only received 18. So then I went to Woolworths when I was shopping and they only had 4 on the shelf, so I grabbed those 4. Then I went to the first Aldi and I managed to get, I think it was 17 there. And then the next Aldi, they had 36. So we got a whole lot of rice milk. It doesn't go off, so whether they use it or they don't, it's going to sit in a cupboard, and if there's some left at the end of the month, it just means that I have more for the next month. But when I'm shopping 6 or 7 weekly, generally speaking, we run out of rice milk 4 or 5 weeks in. So this might get us all the way through without running out, rather than be any sort of excess. So that is the first table load. Alrighty, second lot of stuff. Okay, so I grabbed some of the large shells to do stuffed shells for a meal at one time. I used to do these ages ago, but I haven't done it in a while. The bags of pasta are like $5 each, so they're not something that I do very often because it's just so much more expensive than standard pasta. But that brand, these are really a really nice pasta, and they had some of the rigatoni style, penne style pasta as well. So I grabbed 2 of those as well to try with the other pennes, just because I wanted to, basically. Definitely more expensive than the like Coles brand or whatever, but they were on special. So I grabbed 18 of the rice cakes because they are completely out. They have no rice cakes left at all, so 18 of those from Aldi. I ordered 12 packs of the Coles brand corn chips. Now, regularly, they don't have that very many of them, so we just get a couple and we get some extra other stuff instead, like other corn chips. I didn't receive any of the Coles corn chips at all, but I did get this variety of them. So there is some of the Mission white corn strips and the rounds, and then there is the smaller packets as well. Now, I haven't done the maths on this, but The 12 packs that I would have bought were 400 grams each. Now, this is probably far, far more expensive than the ones that I bought. Even these are probably more expensive than the ones that I bought, but they're only 230 grams. And these are 500 grams. So these are slightly more. These are a fair bit less. And I don't know whether it works out to being the same amount of meals as the Coles brand ones, but anyway, that's what they gave me. I got some shrimp paste from the Asian store for curry paste. I also got rice paper rolls. We have the only packet that we had left had been crushed, so it was all broken up. So I got half a dozen of those. I got some popcorn. There was one in the other table, but I got 5 bags of popcorn all up here. I got some rice noodles. These were from... So I must have ordered the rice noodles through Coles or Woolworths first and then gone to the Asian store afterwards and forgot. I didn't realize that I'd already ordered some. So I got some from the Asian store as well. These were the same price per 100, but they came in a 500 gram packet, which is much more convenient than the 300 gram packet because we end up using 1 and a bit of those. And I really like these ones that have the single serving type ones, but that was the only packet they had. But that would be what I would prefer to buy next time, so I will check for them again. I got a bag of nutritional yeast, some of the Italian tomato paste for the bolognese, a bunch of sushi sheets for sushi, obviously. These were at Coles in the clearance section, and they are a PVC sealing tape that has a fold in the middle so that we can use it on edges anywhere that are a bit unfinished in the new building until we get it sorted. So there was 6 of those. There was 2 more over here. On the clearance shelf, they're 3.2 meters each, so I grabbed all of those because I think that they'll be really handy. Toothbrushes, I just like to buy, most shopping trips I tend to buy enough toothbrushes that there is one, like a new one for everyone if they want it. We got some goat's milk soap. We're down to a couple of boxes on the shelf. I like to have more there. Some of the plain scourers that we use for dishes. I got some black vinegar because a lot of Asian recipes seem to call for it and I've never used it, so I grabbed that at the Asian store. I got a bunch of pads and female things, a automatic Raid sprayer and a refill. At the moment, with the lack of walls, we are getting lots of bugs, so we need something to just help dissuade them. The Raid one is the one that we have found works the best. The sprayer works the best, and it has very minimal odor, which is what we like as well, and that's the natural one. I got some dish detergent. There must be some more somewhere else because I think I got 8, like 1 a week, but there's only 5 there, so I'm pretty sure there's more somewhere. I got some shampoo, and if you watch the shop with me video, you'll know that I got some substituted and it had SLS in it, so we couldn't use it, so I went back and got it replaced. And when I went in there, this was on sale still, so I grabbed a few extra just to have on the shelf. So what did I end up with? 9 of them. I don't know why 9 was the number I did, and I don't know, there's some elsewhere, but don't know. And then some plain shampoo and conditioner. Now, one of the shampoos is around, but the top's snapped off it. I'm not sure where it's ended up, but I got a couple of shampoos, a couple of conditioners. There's still some on the shelf, and a couple of the anti-dandruff ones, which Darryl likes to use. Oh, there's the other shampoo. So this top has snapped off that one, which is fine. There's 2 of these somewhere. These were the shapes. It got wet, so the box is empty. They were 2 for $4 or whatever, and they're my favorite biscuit snack. And the sweet corn turtle chips. There is a packet that I opened on the way home, and this packet because everyone really likes those. I got a packet of croissants for really easy lunch for tomorrow when we're trying to get all this sorted. A 10 kilo of plain flour. We don't use plain flour huge amounts, only really for baking, so it's we still have some left of last month's bag as well. And then I bought 3 of the 25 kilo baker's flours, but 2 of these are for me, and 1 is for a neighbor who asked me to grab some for her. So 2 of these fits across 3 of my flour barrels, and I've got about a half a barrel left, so we should be able to still fit 2 across the 3, even with that little bit there. So I got 3 of those. So that is the next slot of groceries. Alrighty, next table, we got our fruit and veg. So, well, some of it, there's still some scattered. There's a big bag of potatoes and stuff somewhere. But I got 4 of the little tiny red potatoes. I like to use these like underneath the pork rind and things like that. And there's a bag of big potatoes somewhere that we'll find. This box of 1 box, these are just, they're pretty soft, and there's a couple of sugar loaves in there as well. This was just a seconds box of cabbage. I don't actually know how much he charged me for it. I didn't ask. He just offered it to me. That's cool. I got a box of grapes. Again, I'm not sure how much they cost because he just added it all up and gave me a solid number. So some of the things we discussed and some we didn't. A box of mushrooms for Darryl. A box of beans. Now the beans were $25 for this giant box of beans. So I'm going to have to make an effort to, the kids will eat heaps of these fresh, but make an effort to possibly blanch and freeze some of these as well. Maybe pickle some. I got a flat of avocados. I got a bunch of different tomatoes. So there's a couple of boxes of seconds tomatoes that have some really unpleasant ones in them, but they're predominantly good, that he actually threw in for free, and I bought 2 boxes of good ones as well for $15 each. So we ended up with 4 boxes of these little tomatoes for $30, so that was really good. I got a box of broccoli. I think it was $24, which is not super cheap, but still a whole lot cheaper than buying broccoli on its own. I bought 2 big drumhead cabbages, but they were $7.50 each, which is very expensive for cabbage, but we really missed having cabbage last month. I got just some Cos Hearts from Costco just to have initially. We'll normally have hamburgers within that first sort of week period and have fresh tomatoes and fresh lettuce for those. Underneath here is a tray of, this was just a seconds tray of apples. There's some that have some bad spots and stuff, and again he just threw these in free, so I will probably cut these up tomorrow and do something with them, or get one of the kids to cut them up for me. I got a bag of onions. I forgot to get onions at the fruit and veg, so I just grabbed this from Costco. I wasn't really impressed. I had to go through the bags a few times because there was some that had rotten ones in them, and the bags don't smell real great, and so I will probably go through this straight away just to make sure that there's nothing in there that's going bad. And we got a box of custard apples. The kids are really excited to try these. They remind me of the Monstera fruits, the same sort of a pull apart, flaky kind of a moist texture. So I got these for them to try. Again, I don't really remember how much the box was, but it was a good price because they're in season at the moment. And he actually gave me one to try that was ripe in store because I hadn't had one before. So excited for the kids to give these a go, but they're very firm. I'm going to have to Google to see when they're ripe. I think they should be softer than this before you eat them, so a bit like the Monstera fruit. So they might need to sit for a little bit before they can eat them, which is fine because they have grapes and beans and all sorts of things. Did I miss something? Toilet paper. Yes, we got toilet paper. I'll show you in a sec. This is the box of apples that I paid for. So just the same style green apples, just without any blemishes. We got a box of navel oranges. These smell really good. There was a few bags of just yellowing limes that were thrown in. I didn't need too many because I did all those last month, but it's nice to have some fresh ones, and a box of really nice looking mandarins as well. So I think these are 10, this might be 15 kilos, 10 kilos, 15 kilos. So plenty of fruit and veg for the month, as well as what, we already have on the shelf and what we have frozen as well. So there's frozen veg, we haven't got to that yet. We did buy 3 packets of the Quilton toilet paper as well. There's only 2 here, but we bought 3 because we have been running out when I only buy 2. So I bought a 3rd one this month because I had the space to try and fit it on the ute and everything. Alrighty, I think this is the last lot. So meat mostly, last thing to come out of the Eskies. I got a box of beef trim. So this is the beef that Costco turns into their mince and sells as mince. I buy it before it's minced because I find that easier. It's still $9.89 a kilo. It was 20 kilos, this particular box. The boxes vary. I just go and knock on the door and ask for a box of beef trim, and we grab that. So that will be turned into mince for bolognese, hamburgers, Some of it will be stewing beef, all sorts of things, depending on what the cuts are. It looks like it's got some nice big cuts in it this month. Last month it was quite small and just not much usable for stewing it. Most of it turned into mince, but this looks like there might be some bit more to it. The butcher had some trays of drumsticks on clearance for $4 and $5. They've popped their seals a little bit. We're going to bag these up and stick them in the freezer. There was a barbecue one, a Italiano one, and I think it was mango chili one, maybe. So I got 3 of each. Realistically, for a dinner, we probably need 3. There's 8 in each one. So, but if we were doing it for lunch, we might only need 2. So we will either get 3-4 meals out of those ones. They were marked down from $6.99 a kilo. So this was $7.23, was $2 off. This was $3.50 off. So they varied. Like this one was $8.57, but was only $4. So it varied. But the plain chicken legs were $7 a kilo. So it just seemed like a good deal to go. They also had these little buffalo wings discounted to $4, which we have enjoyed the wings that we've got in the hamper lately. It's not something I would have generally eaten previously, but they have been nice, so I thought I'd grab these since they were on clearance for $4 as well. There's just 3 packets of those for a snack sort of lunch thing as well. I got a whole bunch of my frozen veggies of choice. Some were on sale when I did my delivery. Some I had to pay full price for because they just didn't have many when I ordered the delivery. I think I got a dozen of these to have in the freezer because we rely on them at the end of the month when we don't have fresh. I got a tub of sour cream. I got half a dozen of the economy bacon. This was not on special this month. It was just $10 a kilo, so I just grabbed the half a dozen. I grabbed 2 bags of potato gems. The plan is to use those in the waffle maker to give that a go as a treat for one morning. I also grabbed these stir-fry rice noodles, and they're fresh. It's got a cut in the side of it, but they're fresh stir-fry rice noodles. So I really like ho fun and char kway teow and things like that. So I am going to try and see if I can get these to work for that kind of a stir-fry. And if it does, then I'll buy them again. They weren't particularly expensive. It was kilo, I think it was under $5 for a kilo of them. So that's something new to try. These are the boneless chickens that I accidentally left in my mum's fridge last month. And so they've been frozen. So we'll just throw them straight in the freezer. I got these USA ribs as well from the butcher. They were $9.99 a kilo. And they have a double smoked sprinkle on them. These are in the $15, $16, $17 a kilo to buy from Costco just without any glaze on them. So I thought that was a nice treat. I got a bag of roti. I don't buy this every month lately, but with our eating habits of wanting warm lunches, this is nice to have with butter chicken and things like that, or with dal. A couple of bags of Cheerios just for the kids to have a snack on. They were on clearance, so I grabbed them for them. I did grab 1 packet of the fancy streaky bacon just as a treat, but this is about $16 a kilo, $17 a kilo versus the $10 for the economy. So I just got 1 of those. The hot dog sausages for hot dogs that we normally have on tonight but aren't having because I didn't get home in time. So these will have those tomorrow. There was some discounted ham at the butcher, $10 a kilo for this in these bags, but it's a kilo in a bag, so we will have to split that, otherwise we won't get through it all. And I did buy some that is sealed as well, so that can be used later on in the month. We'll use this up first, and then we'll use that. I got 8 of the chicken thighs, so these are $11.49 a kilo at the moment. I got 8 packets of them. They're all about the 2.2 kilo. There was no breasts on the shelf at all, so I just got 8 thighs, and that's fine. We prefer thighs in most things. I do like to have breast for certain things, but there wasn't any, so we didn't. I got 3 of the rolled pork roasts. They are $6.99 a kilo, and each one of these is worth about the $50 mark, so 3 of those. I got some shredded pizza cheese because I've run out, so that's for me. These last me like 2 or 3 shopping trips, so I just buy them when I need them. I did grab myself some of the Mercy Valley cheese as well, though. It was $18 for the 3 of them at Costco. And this is the salami we like to use on our pizza. I grabbed some of the Grana Padano as well for using in things. I also grabbed some more of the boneless chickens to have for this month as well. These are $9.99 a kilo, which is really quite cheap when you think about it for a boneless whole chicken, because like the thighs are $11.49, breasts are $9.99. This is marinated whole boneless chicken, so it works out quite a cheap way to buy chicken. So I grabbed, I think there's 5 of those there. I also grabbed some ravioli. A friend of mine uses some really nice sauces in her Thermomix, and then she just uses them with ravioli, and she just freezes these and cooks them from frozen. So I thought that that would be a really handy kind of a thing to have in the freezer to be able to use for a hot lunch or something like that. If we were having it for dinner, we'd probably need 2 packets, which is fine, but they're $5 each. They're not the cheapest things. But if we were just having it for lunch, we probably only need 1. And I am going to try and master garlic bread this month too, so that would stretch it as well. So I grabbed a couple of the chicken Latina ones. These were half price, but they didn't have any beef in stock, only the chicken by the time I was ordering. And these are the Aldi brand, so I'm going to give them a go as well, and they're about $5 full price. I also got the family size chips at Woolworths or Coles, I can't remember which one. They were half price, so they were only $4.19 for the family size, which are sort of double the size. Yeah, so it's $3.80. Standard size is $1.70, so they're double the size. It ended up being like $1.60 per 100 or something, which is really cheap for potato chips. And as I said, we have been buying snacks from in town, which ends up a whole lot more expensive. So the idea is that we will have these and they will be rationed out over the, well, however long I can ration them out for. There's the rest of the udon noodles that I was mentioned that there was more. There's the hot dog buns that we were to have for dinner, but we aren't. And I also grabbed a couple of packets of these skin-on thigh cutlets from Coles. It's the only place that I've found that sells them. These thigh cutlets have 1 bone in it, just the leg bone in them, whereas most places they have the 2 bones, and they're real awkward to cut out. These are $9 a kilo, but they have that bone in, so you lose a little bit to pull the bone out, but with skin on. So Nom Nom Paleo has a cracklin chicken recipe that we used to always make ages ago, and Darryl said that he would really like it if I could find some of these again so we could make that. So I just grabbed 2 packets of those for a meal as well. I think that is it now, maybe, but we'll. There was more dish detergent. We did find that there was another half dozen dish detergent, so I did buy around about 1 a week, and that should be everything. Alrighty, so it was definitely a big one. I managed to get it only into a few tables because we had all the tables cleared, but it was definitely a lot. And the kids and Darryl kept on commenting about there was just more as we went along. So, but I did well. So, in this grocery haul, I have all my numbers here. I spent $408.50 at Coles, and then I spent $256 at Woolworths. A little bit higher in those 2 places than I would normally spend, but I wanted to get things like my sugar and stuff from those places rather than trying to put it in the trolley at Costco. And I also got my oats from one of them as well, which are the same price there as they are at Aldi, except they're in 1.5 kilo bags, which is a little inconvenient sometimes, but I wanted to get them from there and delivered rather than having to try and fit them in the trolley when I was going to get other things. I ended up spending $4.33 at Aldi, so I still spent a fair whack at Aldi, but I went to 2 different Aldis as well. So like one trolley that I went to was just full of rice milk and coconut cream, and the other one was the full trolley, which you can see if you look in the thing. I spent $58 at the Asian store buying rice noodles and some black vinegar and things like that, bits and pieces that I can't as easily get elsewhere or were a better price or in bulk packaging compared to buying them at Coles or Woolworths and things like that. And then I spent, where are we? I spent $1,513 at Costco, so that's about $300 more than last month, or more than at my average. I normally spend about $1,200, but this is an 8-week shop. and I spent $279 at the fruit shop, which is pretty normal, and $176 at the butcher. So the total for all the consumable food, all that sort of thing, was $3,205.61. So that works out at $400.70 a week, so that's fine. It has gone up slightly. The average is normally $350-ish a week. It has been for the past multiple shops, but I knew it was going to kick up a little bit. The kids have gotten older. They've just aged up in food portion sizing and snacking and things like that. But I think we also eat more in winter than we do in summer. We snack more in winter because it's cold. I know that Darryl and I have a lot more hot coffees in winter than we do in summer. So I bought an extra bag of coffee beans for a start. But I also bought a bit more sliced deli meat type stuff, sliced hams and things like that. I bought an extra packet of wraps to get us through, you know, lots of those bits and pieces that have kicked up that weekly price just that little bit. But I was actually surprised when I did the numbers. I expected it to be higher. But $50 a week is really not that big a deal. And I did comment that last month I was finding we were buying things from the IGA more often. So this month I bought some more snack stuff, some packets of chips and things like that, just to throw in the crates and try and ration out over the thing, some dried fruit and stuff like that, which I buy in minimal amounts. I kicked up the quantities. And last month we were going to the IGA more often and buying some of that stuff because we were struggling with just snack foods and stuff in the 7-week period, and then the appetites and everything else. And I worked out that we were spending around about $60 a week at the IGA last week. So that kicked up the balance of the groceries about the same as what we've ended up spending here. So long as we don't do that again, which we shouldn't because I just purchased all those things to be able to do that, then we should make it run even there anyway. We do buy things from the IGA that we can't avoid, and we do sometimes buy treats. Sometimes there's some ice creams or ice blocks, or there's Darryl tends to buy chocolate for me and things like that. I don't categorize what's spent at IGA. It just have on my budget, I have a running total of what is spent at the IGA or Foodworks each time it's spent, so that I know the total at the end of the month. So also the stuff in Coles, so I don't take some of the incidentals that I buy that aren't really included in those, I don't take them out. So like at Coles I bought the PVC ceiling tape for the floor of the new buildings, and I bought some yarn. At Costco I bought the mats, the runner mats for the floor. I don't know if I showed you them. I'll try and put a photo in here. Some runner mats for the walkway from the old place to the new place. I bought some of those. And at Aldi I did buy some chocolates and stuff for Mum for her birthday. I also purchased some ice cream somewhere and some pies and other things as well, because I cooked dinner for her as well and things like that. So there's some miscellaneous stuff, nothing excess, nothing huge, and I don't bother pulling it out. It just counts as part of the spendings there. I do always spend around about $90 to $100 in fuel as well when I go down, but I count that in the fuel budget. I don't count that in the groceries, but that is on top of it as well. And I always get Hungry Jacks on the way down, so there's, you know, another $15, and I buy lunch when I'm shopping too. So there's always a few extra bits and pieces that cost me, because people always ask, you know, what about the comparison of the fuel and things like that. I don't find that, I still find it cheaper to do this, because I have accommodation down there to stay with my mum. I still find it cheaper to go down and do all these things and pay the fuel and things like that than it is to go to Toowoomba, because I would have to go to Toowoomba fortnightly and then still have to go to Costco or something every however often, because the cost of certain things at Toowoomba are just far too high. And I wouldn't have anywhere near the range of fruit and veg. The fruit and veg stores, I did try shopping there for a while, but I could never find a fruit and veg shop that I got a relationship with like I do with Adam at Mega Fresh or anything like that. So it all comes out in the wash that it still works out more economically viable to do it this way. I did forget to show as well, I noticed that it was left in the car. I did buy a 10 kilo sushi rice, which was on the shop with me video because I got it from the Asian store. That was part of the 58 at the Asian store. And I bought a 20 kilo bag of washed potatoes from the fruit and veg as well. They were 20 kilos for $30, so they were pretty good price, and they're big washed potatoes. But they didn't make it onto the table when I was showing the groceries. So is there anything else that I need to cover? I don't think so. We'll start covering more from this point forward. I'll do my videos every couple of days like I normally do, showing how I use the food, how we're preserving it, and what we're doing with it all. As I said, yesterday was a full day of broccoli and beans, so that's all sorted. I'll put a quick pic here, but it'll come up in the video, the next one. And yeah, so that was April, so it will be all of May and most of June's grocery haul. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you on the next one.